Push P.
Keep it P up here.
Man,
Turn me up.
it's another episode of the 2 for 1 podcast. The pregame song is Pushin' P by Gunna and Future. I'll be honest, I don't even know what this means, but it's okay. We're here, we're ready for another episode. Welcome to another episode of the 2 for 1 podcast. I am one of the two, Trevon Gross Jr. I'm joined by my dog, my co-host, my Canadian brethren. Round of applause for the man himself whose dreads are falling. Denzel Taylor is here. I'm here. You ready for a good episode today, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just keeping it P. You know what I'm saying? These young boys out here coming out with new slang up. I'm just trying to keep up with the times, man.
What does that mean? Like, I know we're in a society where, like, if I ask that, they're going to be mad at me. Like, what does that mean?
Bro, I don't know specifically, but I guess just keeping it real or keeping it player. Like, it doesn't mean exactly player, but, like, if something's good or, you know, a man's taking care of his responsibilities or his kids, like, that's keeping it P. But obviously, if he's doing some foul stuff or whatever, like, that ain't P. Or just, you know, keeping it real fire. You can use it so in different terms and ways, but that's the gist, like.
That makes no sense to me. Like, what? That's exactly why, like, we get no credit for anything. You telling me that if a guy is doing what he's supposed to do, that's quote unquote keeping it Pete, instead of just saying, "Yo, he's doing a good job."
Hey, I don't make up the trends. I don't make up the rules. I just you know.
Like, we're just shortening these words that really don't need to be short. Like, I thought keeping it player was good. I thought keeping it on point. All that. Like, why do we now need to reduce it to the letter P?
Bro, I don't make the rules, man. These young boys out here from Atlanta, man. It's crazy. Hey, I'm not keeping up with it. I ain't saying that. It's all fun and jokes, but hey, I'm too old for that stuff, man.
Yeah, bro, this is too much for me. I cannot keep up. I refuse to keep up. Better yet, let me say that. Not even that I can't keep up. I just refuse to, because enough is enough. Like, there's only so much like foolishness you can take, because that makes no sense.
Yo, yeah. So I feel like Cap. After that, it was like, okay, I don't know where we're going with this.
I couldn't even get behind Cap, to be honest. That was too much.
My thing is like each region used to have its own slang. You could be able to tell where people are from with their slang. Now it's like you have New York people using Atlanta slang, people from Alabama using New York slang. It's like all one melting pot, which I hate, because there's no like, you know, like
no originality.
No originality, nothing. It's just it's all over the place.
Well, since we're on the topic of we're just changing names and terms and things of that nature, it got me thinking, just because when this song came out, I didn't know what P meant or whatever. And, you know, I think about this podcast. It got me thinking about nicknames in terms of, you know, there are dudes, you know, when you hoop, when you're around like certain hoopers for a long time, you get nicknames. And so I wanted to ask you, like, what are some ways, or what are things that, like, how can people get their nicknames? Like, because there are some nicknames that are dope. There are some nicknames that are so trash that it sticks and it turns out being nice. Like, how does that happen?
A nickname could come from like a defining moment, just playing pickup of hoops, whether it be an embarrassing fall or like he posted someone, or just like a shining moment, you know what I'm saying? Or just a horrible moment. So like if he's a bruiser, like, you know, he's known for putting guys on their ass or whatever, like, you know, big boy, big bruiser, whatever the case may be. If you're 300 pounds, we're gonna call you big boy. We're gonna call you, you know, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So something like that.
What were some of your nicknames, Denzel? I'm asking the real questions today. What were some
of your nicknames?
Sure. Don't give me the sugar-coated answer. Give me
the short, so abbreviation. They just call me D. Honestly, I don't think I had too many nicknames. But just like a hack. Hack was definitely like, it wasn't a nickname, but they just say I'm a hack because you know I'll be locking up, but like probably just hack.
You've been using your hands since high school,
bro. Silent assassin, not assassin that's crazy, but you know just silent man, just hack or something like that. Nothing crazy. So what about yourself, man?
Me.
What's your nickname on there?
Shoot, in high school I had Ace, just because Paid in Full is my favorite movie.
Okay.
Then in college, I had what was my nickname in college? My name in college was Trey Gotti, just because I listened to Yo Gotti a lot. And one of my homies, Darius Thompson, he's from Memphis, and so he gave me Trey Gotti, and that kind of just stuck. And that's that. That's pretty much it. In terms of like the
Yeah.
interesting one, like everything
So
else, like
one,
Trey isn't even my real name, but it just kind of
yeah, it
stuck.
just kind of goes. So one of my other nicknames was Hell Zell. I think the guy from
Okay.
Dipset, his name was
Ah,
Hell. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
used to get called Hell Zell from one of my homies from Chicago, whose like favorite group was Dipset. So he used to always call me that. Hell Zell.
That's dope.
That's
That's
about
hard.
it.
You know, it's actually funny when we're talking about like nicknames and stuff like that, especially because like with as athletes, right? We get these nicknames because we're around these dudes pretty much
Mm.
all day, every day, right? And like we kind of get desensitized to like the source of the nicknames. But then like you ever be around in public and they use that nickname and
It's
like
like
you kind of
what
forget, like you forget how like crazy of a story, like why that nickname came
to
about.
tell, bro?
Yeah, and
Yes,
at first like, why do they call you? You know what
bro.
I'm saying? They just like
Sometimes
blatant.
you can't even tell the story. It's like, why do they call you by? You have to give a fake, generic answer. Like, no, this is why they call me. Da, da, da. But it's some
Yeah,
wild story where I was going out in college or something. So I have a
word.
couple other nicknames that I can't really say, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll keep
look,
that under wraps. Keep it
facts,
under
facts.
wraps.
Not doing any snitching on the 2 for 1 podcast, but yeah, man, all this pushing P and all that, I just
You got to keep
it's
it
hard to
P,
get around.
man. Come
Got
on,
to keep
Trey.
it P. I guess
Yeah, that's all.
that'll be the title of this episode. We're just gonna call it "Keeping
Keep
It
it
P."
P.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll title that this one. But in other news, you know what I'm saying, it's always fun talking hoops and whatnot. The Lakers, this is pretty much a Lakers podcast. Like I don't know. I just feel like
Lakers
wherever actually let me
fans.
not say Lakers. This podcast goes wherever LeBron James goes. Like at this point, like I think like at this point we're down to what? LeBron, Paul
Bron.
George. Who else do we
Who
really talk
else?
about?
We got Brown, Paul George. We talk about Kyrie, man.
We
As of
talk about
late,
Kyrie as of late and KD.
yeah,
Like this
yeah,
is like
just like
basically a LeBron, PG, Kyrie, KD podcast. But
on a melting
the,
pot.
yeah, but the Lakers have been in the news a lot lately, talking about how pretty much Frank Vogel is on the hot seat. Frank Vogel's on the hot seat, and then another report shortly after that came that pretty much Frank Vogel is pretty much allowed to now bench Russell Westbrook. Just give me your thoughts. I know I have my thoughts, but I want to give you the
Yeah,
floor. Give you the
I
ISO. Go
mean,
ahead.
me hearing this, like, definitely not P, but this this story kind of like blew my mind for real, because like me thinking about, like, obviously you have Westbrook, superstar, like he has to play a certain amount of minutes, he has to be on the court. It's Russell Westbrook, first ballot Hall of Famer, yada yada yada. But like for me really finding out like Frank Vogel was not really being able to coach to his full potential, and the
Mm,
fact that y'all are throwing him in the hot seat and he's just now allowed to really do his job as a coach, being able to
mhm.
pull Russell Westbrook whenever he wants, bench him whenever he wants. Like we're halfway through the season. I mean, he hasn't been playing the great for the past 2 months, and now he's finally allowed to like coach like this. Like
Yeah,
when I really wrap my mind around this, it's actually insane. Like you're a head coach and you're just now halfway in the season, being able to coach your team to the full potential that you want to. Granted, you have your LeBrons and Kobe's and your Durant's, where whatever they could be playing a whole year underperforming and they're still getting the minutes. But like
right.
at some point, so it has to come to like a bro. Like I need to be able to coach for my team for them to be the best that we could be, and for Frank Vogel not to be able to do that this whole time, like seeing how Russ has been playing with the Lakers. Obviously, it's not fitting. Obviously, it's a style clash. Like that's kind of like that's bold, to be honest. Like
It
and
is.
putting him into the hot seat, it's like, fam, what are we doing here? He can't even coach to his full ability. Y'all want to talk bad about him? Not his fault. It's Anthony Davis' fault, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I'll say, yeah, that's
And
the root of it.
it's like,
That's
yeah,
the
like
root.
he's finally being able to coach. So it's like now we could possibly see where the Lakers go. They're not going anywhere fast, just to be honest. Like that whole season, that whole organization, they're done this season. Just wrap it up. But like for him to finally be able to coach, for me, just realizing that like that's wild, insane to me.
Yeah, and I think his situation is a perfect example of how coaches honestly just get a bad rep. Like when it comes to just like being in the NBA, because like we've talked about it before, like coaching in the NBA specifically, it really has nothing to do with X's and O's. It almost has nothing to do with basketball. Like it pretty much has everything to do with just managing people. You're pretty much just managing players, managing egos, managing contracts, things of that nature. Like you're more of just a manager than an actual coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, these dudes are more than likely making more money than you, or they're viewed as more valuable. So it's like you just go in, you just know basically whether or not to have practice or whether or not to just have a shoot around or just have a film session. It has nothing to do with what drills you're doing necessarily. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because especially with you talking about Frank Vogel specifically, when you look at the veteran presence for the Lakers, he's not about to he can't necessarily be a dictator over those dudes. That's LeBron. LeBron's the coach. Like that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron's gonna tell dudes where to go and what to do, right? Like you're gonna check with him about what you're gonna do. And when you look at the situation, to your point, like he pretty much has been coaching with like his arm tied behind his back because one, Russ has been playing like trash, and that's a fact. Like that's not even being disrespectful. Like I would believe that Russ would hold himself accountable to say he's played like some dog. Like he's played horrible. So he should be benched. But then you talk about the business where he's supposed to be making, what is his contract, 40, 50, something like that a year? I think
it's like 35 to 40 a year. Yeah.
Something like that. But when you're paying one player close to $40 million a year, like he like you said, he has to be on the court. So it's like it's hard. It's hard. But at the end of the day, if the Lakers actually want to win, they should have honestly made some sort of move a while ago. In terms of if you were going to move Russ, they should have did it. Even if they don't, I personally just don't like the supporting cast, in my opinion, when you talk about the Lakers. But
I don't even think the supporting cast is a problem. Like it's just like they don't mesh together. Like nothing fits. Like you have Russ going 100 miles per hour, can't shoot a freaking three to save his life, missing 3-4 layups a game, making horrible decisions. And then you have like Bron, you have 8. Like they haven't played together well at all. There hasn't been probably one game they played together. I don't think it's supporting cast. I think the supporting class is actually good. Like they're a solid supporting class. Melo's been playing the best ball he's ever played in his life. Malik Monk's about to get a bag wherever he goes next year. You have the Avery Bradleys. You have smart guys like Trevor Ariza. You have your Dwight Howard. You have stable guys who could back up with any backup team in the league right now, to be honest, who could hold their own. But it's that first initial 5 and 6 for me that doesn't really mesh together. So with them not meshing together or coming together, sort of like the whole train just falls off, right?
True. So that's true. But you know what? Was one thing I'll say about the supporting cast. There is one name that needs to go. It's your man's too. He's got to go.
Bazemore you talking about Bazemore? He don't play. He don't play, bro.
Yes, he do.
He bro.
He gets too much minutes.
Look at the past 6 games. He probably played in two of them games, probably 5 minutes when they're being getting blown out. Stop, bro. You've been watching when the Lakers are down 20 and he's in the fourth quarter.
Fam, when they played, who was it? I was watching their Denver game when they lost to Denver recently, maybe within the last week and a half.
Okay.
Something like that. He got significant minutes. He was in the rotation.
Were the Lakers down when he was in?
They were still competing. They were down, but they were still competing.
Oh, one thing about Bazemore, he does his job. He does it. He plays hard. I'll tell you his job right now. He plays 100% hard every time he's on the floor. Plays his defense to the best of his ability. Stays in the corner and takes his threes. He probably has one of the highest shooting percentages from 3 on that team. He does his job. Does it work all the time? It could look good, but he does his job. He gets paid to do his job, and when he's in the game, he does it to his full potential.
In the words of the great Jadakiss, it's good, but it's not good enough.
Hey,
bro, in the game. So I hear you because you're right. That is his niche in terms of being the 3-and-D guy for sure.
That's it.
And I'm telling you right now, from what I watched, he's not playing in that role for the Lakers right now.
Fault is that? Is that his fault or is that Russell Westbrook, Bron, AD's fault because they're sub 500 and he's just out there shoot, I could hoop too. I ain't finna been losing and just running back and forth.
That one I will say is on the coaching staff. That one, in my opinion, is on the coaching staff.
Yeah, bro.
I can't. that part of it, I won't blame Bazemore for basically just taking the reins and just give me the rock and we're gonna go.
Yeah.
I get that. But in garbage time, when THT is on the court, and I forget who else they have on the court, but specifically when THT is on the court, and even if it's garbage time, even if they're down 20, I don't care. THT should have the ball, not Bazemore. Can we agree on that? If I'm off, tell me.
Hey, bro, at this point in the season, it's like a free for all. Like, that's how I see it. If I'm on the court in a blowout, and I see TJ, bro, we already been losing the 5 times for the past 6 games. I don't be practicing for nothing.
That's real. Look,
I'll be guarding LeBron in practice for nothing. Give me the ball.
Hey, you know what? You give me a whole new perspective on it. That's a good point. I'm not mad.
What are you doing here?
Not mad.
Yeah, bro.
I just want him to start playing better when it matters. So garbage time, like, take that out of it. That's fact.
He don't be in the game when it matters. When it really matters, he don't even be in there. So it's all good.
Right. So I'm saying that when he's in the game and it
matters. Okay.
I would like to see him. See him play a little better.
I got you.
Garbage time. Absolutely. Do your thing. I agree with you. When you guarding Bron in practice and everything like that, fam, it's time for me to get to it. Like,
throw me a bone, man.
Man. Because honestly, bro, like, that's confidence. Like a part of that is confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, as someone that played in garbage time, like, that you need those little moments of, like, I need to remind myself that I can.
Who I am, yeah.
Yeah, like, I've been playing 3-on-3 in practice. I've been doing scout. I've been just sitting on the sideline. Like, nah, I got to kind of remind myself that I can.
Got to get Billy one time. At least try. Yeah. If I fail, oh well. This film is not being shown. We're down 30. You think they're just showing the first? Like, who cares? I ain't got to run no set. The set is clear out.
Right, clear out. Hey, step up ball screen. Come on, set it.
Yeah.
That's literally the how we doing things. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, this whole Frank Vogel thing, at the end of the day, the Lakers are what they are simply because of the players. Like, just kind of.
That's it.
Yeah, like to your point, and we've been consistent in this. This Lakers team specifically, and this season has shown that the Lakers go as far as Anthony Davis goes. And that's just the truth of it. And so we haven't seen AD play to his level that we're used to. We haven't seen Russ really actually be Russell Westbrook. You know, we've seen Bron be Bron. Like, that's Bron.
It's just Bron, yeah.
The truth of it is, Bron's in year 19. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and not to say, like, because honestly, Bron should win MVP this year. He like, we talk about Steph. We do. But, fam, what Bron is doing in year 19 of his career, and like, but I don't know if he gets it just because the Lakers aren't winning. Like, they're
not winning. Like, I love the narrative. We always talk about this all the time. Like, he should be, but it's like after his year 16, 17, and they really didn't give it to him. Like, this league's not ever giving him one. He should. He should be in top 3 conversations at least. But like, that whole conversation, I don't even waste my breath anymore because like, everyone knows what he does. Everyone knows his value to the game. So it's just sort of like
should have like 9 or 10 MVPs. Like, if we're being honest and truthful, he should have like 9 or 10 MVPs and a Finals MVP. In the Finals, he lost. To be honest, what was that? 2016?
Which one?
Might have been 2018.
Yeah. Cleveland, when he was just putting the work on the Warriors.
45. He was averaging like a 45-point triple double in the finals.
And people had the nerve to call Iguodala the Bron stopper. Like,
bruh, look, can we have that conversation for 2 seconds? Like, I was really sitting and thinking to myself, like, why people actually try to argue if Bron is the GOAT or not. Like, because okay, you talk about rings. First of all, it's a completely different league. Like that matters. Like, I don't know why people like skirt over that. Like, it is a completely different type of league in comparison to when Jordan was in the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan, he only had to worry about maybe 5 teams in the NBA in terms of like, where it's like, okay, I gotta really get up and play these dudes, right? Bron, in today's league, every team, for the most part, let's say of the 30 teams, you gotta really pretty much worry about 25 of them. That like got a dog on their team.
I don't know about that because just when Bron was in the East, like no bull, like majority of his career in the East, not saying it's been smooth sailing, but after he got over that Boston Detroit hump and that kind of wave fizzled out, like it's been smooth sailing to the finals ever since. You know what I'm saying?
But then I answered the argument of let's look at the team that he was facing in the finals. Like that Warriors team. Jordan ain't doing nothing with that. Jordan ain't doing nothing with that.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot. Listen,
that's a hot take. You said Jordan doing nothing with that team.
He's not doing nothing.
Stop it, Trey. Stop it, Trey. Jordan squad against the Warriors. It's gonna be a tough.
What year?
What year Warriors?
Let's say 96. Let's say 96. The year where they went. What was it? 72-10.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Play that out. It's a good series, really good series. But style of play alone, Scottie Pippen gonna be I'm here. It's half court shooting.
It's two different eras. One is two different eras, so you really can't compare. But just being fun and comparing, okay, you have Jordan. Jordan cancels out their best player, so Jordan cancels out Stephen Curry. Boom. Okay. You got Scottie. I'll take Scottie over Draymond. Yeah, I'm taking Scottie over Draymond. Boom. Mm-hmm. Dang, you got Clay. Ooh, I don't know. Clay one up too.
What's Steve Curry? What's Steve Curry gonna do with Clay? Stop it. Stop this.
Okay.
Stop this madness.
Okay, Clay. Who you got at the 4?
Who they have at the 4 at that time?
Who they have at the 4? No, it was
big. Let's just say Kevin Looney because I can't think of who it was.
Okay.
Was it Kevin Looney?
No, bro, who they have at the 5? They had some foreign guy at the 5. What was his name? I don't know the words like that, but it's gonna be a good matchup. Yeah, I don't know. It will be a good matchup. All right,
but take that out of it, right? Because that's my hot take. I completely agree. Like Jordan's not doing nothing with that Warriors team. I'm sorry, just off style of play alone. So then you add
Chicago plays defense though.
That's fact.
That Warriors team was not known for no defense, bro.
Think about what is available to offensive players today as opposed to last year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Last year, when you listen to every old head talk basketball in terms of defense, they were hand checking, they were bumping and everything like that. In today's NBA, foul. They're out of here.
You got Michael Jordan on the court. Some of those fouls, refs are gonna hold their whistle, man. They don't hold their whistle a little bit.
Defender. Paxson was a defender. Stop it. It was all using their hands.
Is Stephen Curry a defender?
No facts. He's not. But he'll get it back in blood once he crosses the half court line.
All right.
So what's the difference? But back to
go ahead.
Jordan. Brown's gonna finish his career maybe top 5 in points, assists, and rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, or even if it's not rebounds, but maybe steals. But like finishing top 5 in like those major categories, if that's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think Jordan is what? Where is he on the scoring list? 8?
I think he's top 10 somewhere.
He's top 10. He's top 10, yeah. Right? But Bron has passed him. Like at this point, we're all just wondering if Bron's going to beat Kareem. Yeah. And on top of that, Bron is top 10 in assists.
You don't know that. That's
nowhere found on that list.
That's his first. Everyone knows that Bron is a pass for us, so it's not really a surprise.
Yeah. But once again, we're talking about the greatest player of
all. But Trey, they always talk about just Jordan. Bron don't got the killer. He don't got the killer that Jordan has. He don't got that killer instinct. He don't got that takeover. He don't got that. We don't have that. He's passing the ball in crunch time, Trey. He's passing the ball to J.R. Smith and all these people who are no name. Boobie Gibson. He's passing the ball to Mo Williams.
Come on. Funny. What a guy. But no, bro, listen. First of all, the people that most of the time use that he doesn't have a killer instinct be the nicest people you've ever met in your life. Like, you don't even know, like, you've never even killed a fly in your home. You're talking about whether or not a dude has killer instinct. Like, stop it. Like, honestly, can we define killer instinct? Like, that's a good conversation. In your brain, what is killer instinct for real? As hoopers, be honest. What is killer instinct?
Killer instinct for me is just like, when a player goes
killer instinct for being selfish.
Nah, not being selfish, but like just picking your moments and knowing when to take over a game and just having that give me the ball, everyone clear out. Just having the balls and the work ethic that they put in to be able to be at that level where you could do that and just take over a game and just at any point and just have that I don't know. It's just something you have to see and just feel when you're on the court with that said person. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I agree with you there. And simply because the average fan, they view taking over a game as scoring. Like they think if you're scoring every point,
I love where you're going with this.
Which is not true. Like, once again, it's not about that you score, it's how you score, right? Bron will come down, dunk on somebody's head, come down the very next play, get a wide open three, come down again, hockey assist. Like you can, like, real hoopers know the impact LeBron has on an offense. And like sometimes it doesn't necessarily show, but like when Bron gets it in the mid post and he gets doubled, he knows exactly where to go. And so to me, when you talk about killer instinct, kind of to your point, it's like when you have the ball in your hands, you make something happen every time. Like there's no hesitation, there's no wondering, there's no guessing. Like when I have the rock, boom, I make something happen. And the thing is too, right? When you talk about, people use the argument, well, he's passing up shots for the end of the game, blah, blah, blah. Kobe would have shot it. Well, that's because that was Kobe's thing. Kobe was shooting. Like that was Kobe's thing. Bron has already established himself as, no, I'm going to make the right play, which there's nothing wrong with that. Especially since the way Bron drives the ball, he's drawing all 5 dudes. So at the end of the day, the higher percentage shot, which is different than Kobe, right? Kobe shooting a fadeaway with 2 people.
People don't want to see that. People don't want to see him pass into an open three. They want to see Bron shooting over 5 people to win a game to solidify something. Like, that's what they want to see.
And I would rather they say that than say he doesn't have killer instinct. Like, just say that you would be more entertained by Bron shooting over dudes as opposed to Bron giving his team a chance to a wide open teammate. Like, that's a higher percentage shot any way you slice it.
They don't care about the high percentage. They want the person to shoot over 5 people, to be that guy, to be the only one. Like, bro, I mean, that's what they want.
Yeah, and I'm saying that I just wish they defined it as that, as opposed to saying
he don't got
killer instinct and blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, you don't even know what killer instinct is. You don't even know how it really applies. Like, come on, what are we talking about here?
I feel you.
Especially because, like, bro, you don't average 25, 7, and 7 and not have a killer instinct in the NBA. You don't. I would go as far as say you don't survive in the NBA without a killer instinct to some capacity. Like, I think that's fair to say. Like, if you don't have an edge mentally,
I feel you.
Like, it's over. It's over. You've lost already. Like, you can talk to any player in the NBA. In their brain, they're the best player on the court, or they're the best in their role, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, man.
Yeah, like whatever it is, like they're the best corner 3 shooter, like regardless if Steph Curry's on the court. Like, but you have to think that way. So everyone has a killer instinct. Like, that's not like really saying anything. It's just, once again, we're dealing with aliens when it comes to basketball.
Definitely aliens. We're dealing with Martians, like people that, like, when it's all said and done, like, we're gonna look back at Bron's career and it's like, bro, we really didn't appreciate this in the moment, like how we should have. Like,
the other people will. Me and you will be fine. We'll because we know what we're viewing. Like, real hoopers will know exactly what we're looking at and appreciate it. And we're gonna be the old heads, like, man, should have remember when LeBron scored 25 straight. Like, all that. We're gonna be talking about. Man, you should have seen his 2018 finals performance. Like, we're gonna talk old head stuff like that. The people that are using the killer instinct, all that argument, they're gonna be the ones that's like, man, missed out. Yeah. But the last thing I'll say in terms of this argument, I don't even know how we got into a GOAT debate. I
don't know how did we get into a LeBron James debate?
I don't know. But, we're talking about the Lakers. Once again, this is pretty much a LeBron James podcast. But one, for the people that are listening to this podcast, if you really want to settle this debate, go on YouTube, and I've said this before, search LeBron James career highlights. Watch as many videos as you want. Search Michael Jordan career highlights. Watch as many as you want. And then I'll let you be the judge. Because that should tell you everything you need to know in terms of who's the GOAT. I'm sorry. This is what it is.
You have some people who argue for the other coin, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, ignorance. That's all it is. Ignorance.
Ignorance is bliss. No, that's not bliss because they know.
Yeah, like we know what it is. But anyway, we're talking about Bron, we're talking about Jordan, we're talking about chips and all that type of stuff. I want to talk about just how hard it is to win a championship in general. So not necessarily specific to an NBA championship, but both of us have college careers, pro careers and everything like that. Like, in your mind, what is like the hardest factor to winning a championship?
Bro, I think the hardest factor is just on a night in and night out basis being consistent. Like
Hmm.
you could have the tools, the team, and everything, but like you have to really stay focused and keep your foot on the gas. Because like for me, it was just like being in a situation like I've had the opportunity to win a championship and stuff like that. But like sometimes like you get caught up in like, bro, we're so good. Like we have all the pieces, we could turn it on and off. That's a huge thing. Turn it on and off anytime you want. Like so in the playoffs, so when it comes down to it, like it doesn't always work like that. So like being a consistently good in and out scouting reports, whatever the case may be, like every single day in and out the same thing, like rinse and repeat, and keeping
Right.
a cool head and having that same like mindset. Because you could have all the pieces you want, have all the players, the coaches, and everything, but like you have to be consistent. Like if you're up and down certain point, like it's not gonna click, it's not gonna work. And just like putting like myself to the side and egos and everything like that, because it's not about how much points I'm scoring or I'm not playing this game. Like I have to be able to give up myself for the team if I really want to win a championship. And like
Mhm.
that's a big thing as far as players and stuff. Like they always say, so I'm trying to win a championship. I'm trying to win this, that, and the third. But when stuff doesn't go in their favor and they're winning, they be on the bench salty. They're not scoring their amount of points. Like they'd rather be losing than and put up their numbers and actually winning a championship and playing a small role. So all those egos, all those players, coaches, all come together and all have some type of things to do with it. But like my thing is just staying consistent each day, every day, in and out, and yeah, just doing that. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree with that. Consistency really is like the key to success when you talk about chasing a championship. I would also add just the one of the hardest things that I guess that matters in terms of going after a championship or winning a championship is just like the amount of things that have to go right in
Yeah, you
order
have
to
to you have to be
like
lucky. You have
you know
to
what I'm saying?
get
Like
lucky.
to the consistency part, right? Like you can be consistent. I can come in and work hard every single day, everything like that. Teammates can too. But, even conversations off the court have to go right. Conversations in terms of even as you go up in levels, then there's exposure to media, there's exposure to, there's more expectation, right? Like in terms of it's easier to win, a weekend AAU championship than it is to win a high school state championship just because on a weekend AAU trip, it's like, okay, I can just lock in for the weekend. I can lock
3
in
days,
and be
yeah.
consistent for those 2 days. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna win our games. No one's really gonna say nothing. Everyone kind of knows their roles and we're gonna play. In the state championship, you're talking about, over the course of what, 4 months is a high school season about, just
Yeah.
average, right?
Mhm.
And like as you go up in levels, it's like 4 months, then you go to 6, 7 months for college. Then, in the NBA pro leagues, you're going 8 to 10 months. And there's so many factors, what I'm saying, between people talking to the coach, people talking to you, people are talking about the team, people talking about you as a player who you don't even know when you talk about introducing media and stuff like that to it. Then you talk about the connection between the teammates, talk about the connection between, the best player and the head coach. Then you talk about the team and the head coaching staff and what the staff is telling the head coach. Like there are
It's a lot.
so many things that have to go
Crazy.
right in the sense of just like everyone has to be pulling in the same direction for a championship to really even be like considered. You know what I'm saying? And because it's such a long road, especially as you just go up higher up in level, especially us at like the pro level, like it's a lot. Like you really have to be extremely disciplined in order to win a championship.
Yeah.
And I think so in your mind, right? Obviously we are experienced in knowing like what it takes, right? In your brain, what is like some of the things that get overlooked to like the average fan, let's say, to the average person that kind of just watches basketball? Oh, we just turn on the finals, or whatever. Like in your brain, what's like the first thing that gets overlooked?
I would say it's probably like a less attractive thing, but like actually like liking your teammates or like a team
Mm,
chemistry or cohesiveness. Cause like, bro, you could put the best players together. If them niggas don't like each other or don't gel or just off the court, like just brotherhood or family, like
mhm.
it's not gonna work out at all. Like it's
Look
not
at the
like you,
Clippers.
bro. You actually have to.
There is beef between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I promise
Bro,
you there is.
you actually have to like the players you're playing with, and also I would say like just preparation. Like the average fan doesn't know how much hours, how much time you really put into 10 minutes that you get on the court or one possession, like scouting, knowing the plays, knowing your plays, clock management, knowing all the plays in your playbook for special situations, late games, 5 seconds, just being in the right spot at the right moments, being prepared for any situation. Like the preparation is intense. Like you're going over stuff 2 hours, making sure your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, like to the T. Like that type of preparation just for a 40-minute game, like it's a lot, you know, especially as a coach. Like like what a coach has to go through for those 2 months of the playoffs or what, like, bro, it's excruciating. Like being away, like you're not seeing no family, you're not seeing your wife, your girl, none of that. You're honed and focused in. So that type of preparation, I would say, like the average fan doesn't know, and actually like liking your teammates and team camaraderie. Like they don't care if Russell Westbrook and LeBron like each other. They're just trying to see him dunk and win games. Like, but that has a big thing to do with it. I would say. What about yourself?
I mean, I would honestly echo that same point in the sense of just like the level of preparation. Like for me, I've always was amazed, especially during my time at Virginia. Like we would be in shoot arounds, right? And like Coach Bennett would be like, "All right, we're gonna, do like our quick, quick hitting threes for last second shot type plays." And like we knew them, but like even like it's like when you go through them, they're kind of just like the plays that you just know, and it's like we barely run these, but like I just know it. And then when you see it like come to fruition in the game,
real game, yeah,
it's like,
you got to be
oh,
quick.
you better
Boom.
know it. Like, because when you're running those plays, there's 5 seconds left on the clock, 4 seconds left on the clock. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going the full length of the floor, like, and you got to know where you're going, where you have to be. And it's like and once again, I mean, I don't know any coaching staff, I haven't experienced this where it's like you go over those types of plays, like those, I don't want to say press breaks, but like the last second and you have to go the whole length of the court type play, or you have it in the half court and you have 2 seconds left, like what play you run. Like you don't run over those plays as often as you do, like, your normal half court sets. And it's like, like you said, it takes a high level of attention and focus on everyone's part, because everyone has to know. Because like if, like, for example, if the big doesn't set a screen where he's supposed to at the right angle, that guard doesn't get the shot he's supposed to get. If they can't enter it in because someone didn't cut at the right timing, then like the whole thing is off. If that inbound pass is off, then like the guard or the big doesn't catch it in a position where he can easily get into a shot. Like so many factors, so many factors that happen, right? And it gets overlooked, like just what has to go into that championship, that championship journey. And I think also what plays a role in it is, as well as just like time. Like I think when you look at athletes in general, I think we have probably the best ability when it comes to time management out of necessity. Like, because like you said, like, because 10 minutes to the average person, that's just 10 minutes, right? It's kind of like to someone, they could be like, all right, I could probably knock out like 1-2 tasks in 10 minutes. You say 10 minutes to like an athlete that like has been around like high level athletics, they can fit in like 8 things within that 10 minutes and have it structured out. Like I'm gonna do a minute of this, 2 minutes of this, 3 minutes of that, like, and have it built out where like that 10 minutes is like a full 10 minutes. It's like a productive 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like even to your point, like when you talk about warm-ups, when you talk about, how long you prepare, you know what I'm saying? You talk about how long drills are, things like that. Like
film sessions.
Yeah. Yeah, like we really know time in a real way. And I think that gets overlooked. I really do. But yeah, I think it's a interesting conversation, especially since now, we're entering that part of the year where, obviously, the playoffs are coming up. And then obviously, it's January now, but before you know it'll be March. So we're going to be talking about the NCAA tournament soon. Shout out to Virginia. You know what I'm saying? We getting back on track. We're doing what we got to do in the ACC. We just got a dub against Pitt last night. So good shout out to Reese doing what he got to do.
Congrats.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all Monarchs is doing though.
Don't worry.
I don't keep track of y'all.
So we playing tonight, man. So we playing tonight against Rice in Houston. You know, we got to get that dub.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
All
nothing
right.
crazy. Get that
Yeah,
dub
y'all better
tonight.
not be going out in Houston. I know that. Better not be
Hey
going
man,
out.
nah, man. Strictly ball, man.
Word. Yeah. Yeah, it's always strictly ball, right? It's always that. That's how nicknames get formed.
Form,
It's
right?
those trips.
Nah,
Those be the trips
exactly,
where nicknames get formed.
exactly, exactly.
But
Boy.
so pivoting off that, we're talking about championships and things like that because going back to the NBA specifically, a lot of teams need changes. The trade deadline's coming up. We got a lot of. I think now more than ever we've seen like the most amount of activity between just players kind of going in and out, and that's for different reasons, but whether it be injury, whether it be because of just different type of circumstance, COVID, whatever. In your brain, trade deadline coming up, what trades need to happen? What you seeing?
I honestly think like the teams in position right now to win a championship, like your Milwaukee's, your Nets, your Golden State Warriors, your Phoenix Suns, like those top teams who are really in the mix, I don't think they need to change anything specifically right now. I think how they are is pretty good, but for like the bottom half, as far as even trying to compete, there's a couple teams that could make changes to even maybe make a better run in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But like those 4 or 5 teams that I just said, like I think they're solid right now. Philly, I would say need. I don't know what they need. Probably a point guard. I actually do know what they need. You know what I'm
Who
saying?
do they
Point
need?
guard, but I don't know exactly who they need because
Philly.
Joel Embiid's been balling. Okay,
Joel's
go
been
ahead.
playing, but look, Philly needs to go get Malcolm Brogdon from Indiana.
Malcolm Brogdon. Okay.
They need to go get Malcolm Brogdon from Indiana. Only because when you look at their situation, you're right. They need a point guard.
Yeah.
And especially since they want to win. They want to compete. Like they've made that clear.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, like Malcolm is proven. And that's not even my bias. That's not even Virginia bias, me speaking. Like Malcolm is just a proven solid point guard in the league that's just going to give you, I think he's averaging like 16, 17. So I think he's averaging like 15, or no, I'm sorry, 16, 5, and 6 or something like that. Like solid numbers, and he knows how to win. That's what Philly needs. Now, granted, I don't know who they give up for him, but I know that Indiana has pretty much made all their players available for a trade. And then the other person out of Indiana as well, someone needs to go get Sabonis. I don't know who. Somebody needs to go get that man because he's a problem. And we don't hear about him because he's in Indiana. He's a problem.
I'll be glued to the TV when he's hard nosed. Like, bro, he got moves. He's tough. He is so tough.
He's
20
like
and 10 a game.
Championship aspirations. He's the missing piece to someone's championship aspirations. Like, I don't know who exactly yet, but like him, like the way he plays, because like you said, he plays hard. He's needed.
Honestly, I don't know, it's kind of I don't know if it would be a good fit, but if you like insert him and like with a Memphis squad, like a young Memphis squad, it could work. Like give up like who do you have? I mean, Steven Adams doesn't start. I don't know he's worth anything. You have
start?
No, I think who starts for them? He doesn't. Cause I watched a couple games since they've been hot. He comes off the bench.
What's that other dude's name?
You have Jaren Jackson. Do you have they have this other guy. I can't.
What's his name?
Vucevic? I don't know.
I don't know. Something with a V. I don't want to disrespect that man's name, but something like that. He's a really big guy.
Yeah.
But him, I guess.
I don't know, Memphis. Yeah, it's not a bad move.
I wonder how him and Jaren Jackson would mesh if that were to happen.
I mean, it's nice, inside, outside. Jaren Jackson stretches the floor. He'll be on the perimeter more. Sabonis you'll have that inside presence where you can play inside out, and then you have Ja, you have Desmond Bain. Oh my God,
yeah,
he's been hooping. He's been hooping, and then you have Dylan Brooks when he comes back.
Yeah, but my thing with the Memphis Grizzlies specifically, though, and then we can get back to like trade talk. Like, they just need experience. Like, I don't think they need necessarily trades. They just need time, and that's like the tricky part when you're a GM because it's like, all right, do we make moves or do I just let these dudes
just let it play out? Yeah,
yeah. Because I mean, I think it would depend on what they'd have to give up in that type of trade. You know what I'm saying? Because like that makes sense. I think it would just depend on what they'd have to give up. Because like if they had to give up, for example, like a Jaren Jackson for a Sabonis, to me
No,
that's not worth it.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it depends. But
Yeah.
but when you think about trade deadline, what happens with Ben Simmons? Do we see him get traded?
I don't think anything happens. I see him just sitting for the rest of the season, and then they're going to figure out something in the offseason to do with him. Because at that point, it's sort of like you have to do something with him. I said you have to do something with him, even like the first month, but now his stock is literally nothing now. So you just have to. It's just a waiting game. You just have to wait it out. One thing I will say is someone needs to go get Miles Turner. I wanted the Lakers too, but that's probably not going to happen anymore. But yeah, I don't know.
Someone go get Miles Turner
tough.
for real. Hey, what do the Knicks make any trades? Do you think the Knicks make any moves?
They just made a trade, right? They got I forgot. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about it.
Oh, they got Cam Reddish. We didn't get
Cam Reddish.
They just got Cam Reddish.
Yeah, they got Cam Reddish.
I liked it for him, to be honest. I did.
Yeah, they're just playing bad. Like they have basically the same team that they had last year with a couple upgrades, to be honest. And like it's just not clicking this year. I don't know why.
I saw a report where they're talking about what is it? They're talking about how Julius Randle isn't like a part of their long-term plans anymore.
Oh wow.
Like something nuts. I'm just like, all right, bro. Like he's playing bad, but like, hold on. Like it was one of those types of reports.
Hey,
like I pray this isn't true.
When you in like a New York, Philly, like it could go from sunny to rainy in an instant, man. Those media and fans outlets are they're ruthless, man.
Well, bro, that's brutal. Honestly, that's brutal.
Golly. He didn't even get
I saw that and I was like, dang, if I'm Julius, if this is true, get me out of here.
I just took y'all to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, like honestly, if I'm Julius and that's like there's truth to that, yo, get me out of here. Y'all are ungrateful.
No, get his bag and leave.
Speaking of ungrateful, and you didn't want to talk about this. Two things. Kyrie Irving. Did you see that now they're about to pretty much just pay like an $81,000 fine to let him play home games now?
Who's about to pay that?
The Nets. Dog, if you think the Nets aren't about to pay $81,000 to let him play home games, now you know.
They got KD out now. They over there scraping the pot.
Even if KD wasn't, you're going to pay $81,000 to let your $30 million man play home games.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, stop it.
I'm not doing that.
Denzel, you're too smart.
At this point, it's pride. It's pride and respect. The past 2 years, this man has treated the NBA, his job, as if he could just come and go whenever he wants. Like I'm not on no Stephen A. Smith type shit, but like, bro, at the end of the day, like you've been like showing up when you want, going home and still getting paid, and it's sort of like, bro, not saying I don't care. Like you definitely help us, but at some point, I'm not taking the fine. You could take the fine. Me personally, as a GM or as book the Nets, I ain't taking the fine. I ain't taking the 81 a game.
I'm shocked. No, not 81. Not 81 a game. I think in total.
Oh, total?
For him to play the rest of the home games.
Oh yeah.
1,000. That's what I'm saying. Like each game, I think
different. Yeah. Okay.
A game.
I thought it was 81 a game. I'm just like, okay.
No. I'm with you on that. If it's 81 a game, that's not worth it. No.
Okay.
That's a lot. But 81, like in total, like from like let's say today to they make it all the way to the finals, you pay a total of $81,000.
How can he do that though? Because he's not vaccinated. It's a government law. Like what? Wait, are they breaking the rules for him? It's a state law. I mean,
yeah. They would basically be purposely breaking the rules and
they could do that.
Yes,
man.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
you're paying that fine
until I see with my own eyes Kyrie playing the home game. I have no comments. I have no comments.
Yeah, I bet you don't. I bet you don't. But even past that, we were talking about ungratefulness. Did you see a clip of the Nets recently played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and a fan was sitting sitting courtside, or he was close to the court, and pretty much was basically talking to Kyrie, and Kyrie pretty much goes, "I got you guys a championship, and now you guys are acting ungrateful." And the fan responds, "It was only one." Like, That is crazy to
Hey, yo, fans are out of pocket. Like, these be the same fans who were booing John Morant when he came back off his injury just because he wasn't playing well his first couple of games, and now are screaming MVP when he's on a tear. Like, these fans are ungrateful. It was only one. It was y'all first one ever.
In like 50 years. What was it? 52 years since like any type of major championship was brought to the city of Cleveland.
Kyrie averaged 27 in that series.
Going crazy too. Going like once again a loud 27.
Yo, they be ungrateful as hell, man.
But it's stuff like that where it's like I have to pose the question of like just what makes winning a championship so hard and what do people miss? Because like when I hear these types of things, it's like, bro, I don't think people realize how difficult it is.
They don't understand. They don't understand. Like,
and even with the NBA specifically, making it even to the finals is a championship in itself. Because it's like technically like you're a champion of the conference, right? Like even that is difficult. Like that's not easy. Playing a team potentially 7 times in a row is not easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you hear people talk about it all the time, like past a certain point, past like game 4, 5, it's not
game
about
3.
plays.
It's like it's not like I know your plays, you know mine. I know where you're about to go for. We know what we're doing. It's all about who's gonna make those shots, who's gonna execute better, who's gonna switch up game plan. Like the playoffs is really where you see coaches separate themselves from the regular pack. Like it's really chess, not checkers. It's really all about making the key changes. You know that's it. Key changes. That's it. Coaches really got to be on their P's and Q's.
They do.
Got to adjust. You got to adjust. You got to make them adjustments, man.
So pretty much, to sum all this up, you got to keep it P in order to win a championship. And with that,
that's it, man.
Round of applause.
Yeah,
it was a good podcast.
It was.
It
was really good.
But well, we appreciate you guys for listening. Just catch you all next week. Always remember that your jump shot isn't broke. You just got to use more legs. And he's not cheating. He's just at the gym. That's all I got. I still haven't written out like a new one, but whatever. We're out.
So if he's taking care of his responsibility as a man, he's keeping it P. So if he's jealous of you, so if your homie is jealous of you making money or whatever, that ain't P, man. You got to drop him.
That ain't P. Oh my God, I'm old.
That ain't P, man.
See y'all next week. We out.